All right. Hello, everyone. We are live and welcome to all at MUSC Red Devils NCR. This is Delvin, and I have, after a pretty long
Lakaka.
absence, I have a person who's come back from a youth sabbatical from a hiatus, and that is Lakaka, aka Hadi. Hadi bhai, welcome to the stream. Warm welcome. Hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, and let's hope that we have a great stream tonight. And we
Yeah,
as we touch up upon some of the most important and relevant topics that surround our club so far. And so let us. So now that the transfer window is officially open, Harib, I just wanted to know what are your initial thoughts about the transfer windows. I think we've had a lot of conversations in the past few days in the WhatsApp group regarding our stances on the prospective ownership deal or whatever that is. But I wanted to know your opinions on what should be the transfer strategy, what is the profile of the players that we should be looking at, and do you believe we already are at a disadvantage now that the transfer window has begun because of the uncertainty that the club is surrounded in continuously?
Hmm. So to answer the last question, no, I don't think we are at a disadvantage. It's still very early in the transfer window, but I would say to get at least one deal done, because as soon as the takeover happens, if it's to happen, the price is going to rise. The same amount that you are getting, around 50 million euros or whatever, they'll ask 80 million, they'll ask 70 million. कि भाई क्योंकि अभी तो पता है भाई भाड़े का पैसा है, डेब्ट का पैसा है, तब तो असली पैसा आ जाएगा, तेल का पैसा. तो प्राइस इज गोइंग टू राइज. तो एक बंदा अगर ले सकते हो तो आई वुड से या आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड वी कैन गेट एटलीस्ट वन गाय. बट देन अगेन, व्हाई विल ग्लेजर स्पेंड देयर मनी getting somebody when they are going to sell it anyway? But for bringing in players, I would say we have a decent team to begin with. मेरे को अब और कोई रीबिल्ड नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है, पिछले 6 साल से 7 साल से रीबिल्ड चल रहा है. हर सीजन में 2 सीजन में जो है पूरा पूरा टीम ही शिफ्ट हो जाता है. So I'm happy with my team. I would say only 1 or 2 injections would be sufficient. Definitely a striker. Midfielder, they're saying okay, Mount, and I think I'll be happy with the Sancho. थोड़ा clarity आ जाए. Sancho is leaving or staying or whatever. So yeah, I'm happy with 2 or 3 transfers. I don't want a right back because Aaron Bissaka is one of the best in the world at what he does, which is a defensive right back. So yeah, we can just use him for that, to give that last minute one-on-one tackles. And crossing uska acha nahi hai, but yeah, we need somebody on the right hand side to cross. Yeah, this is it. But it is interesting to see how will the dynamics change if the takeover happens, because then definitely there we cannot comment anything, because Saudi Qatari पैसा आएगा, तेल का पैसा आएगा, और वो बंदा बोलेगा भाई मेरे को तो बेस्ट बंदा चाहिए, and he's going to splash the cash and get in whatever he wants in to get in.
Yeah, you before we get into the transfer dealings and whatever it is as far as the transfer window or anything is concerned, there has been a huge breaking news that has come out from the ownership perspective. There was a meeting of the Premier League owners. I think it was around earlier today, or I think late yesterday, and a united decision has been made forward. That's a unanimous decision saying that in the owners and directors test that takes place whenever there is a new ownership that is to be taking the reins of a particular club per se, the concept of the leveraged buyout has been banned. So which means that, so for all the people that who are watching, a leveraged buyout basically means that in order to buy a club or a financial entity, the prospective buyer takes a loan or uses a source of debt as financing in order to acquire the club or a part of the club that he's looking for. So, for example, let's take Sir Jim Ratcliffe, for example. So, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is looking to buy around 69% of the club, if we are talking about. And and if if he's in, as per as the new rule, he's not allowed to take any sort of loan or any sort of debt to buy that 69% of the club, because it puts a risk to the financial stability of the club, as well as it it casts a lot of question marks on the financial sanity of the prospective owner, whether or not he does have the prospective owner does have the required funds in his pocket, so on and so forth. So Habibai, I wanted, so just for us to know, I think everyone knows that the Glazers bought United in the same way. They bought the club via leverage buyout, where they took quite some time, and then by 2005 they immediately went about and bought the club based on a series of loans that they took from a wide range of banks. We have Kshitij Bhai with us also on the stream. Kshitij Bhai, welcome, warm welcome. Hope you're doing well. So I'll get back to you with my question as well. What I have been asking to Hadi Bhai as well. So Hadi Bhai, what are your thoughts on this new rule change? And do you believe that it is come a little too late, or is it come at just the right time because of the spate of the clubs that have come under new ownership in the past 2 or 3 years have been a lot. Recently, Bournemouth came under new ownership. As we've seen, Leeds United has come under new ownership recently. And then we all know about the much publicized takeover of Newcastle United, which happened in the Saudi ownership. And then there is Burnley, who are in the second division, also is under new ownership. So, with the state of these new ownerships, do you think that this rule of a leverage buyout being banned has come at just the right time, or do you believe it's come a little too late?
See, I'm happy with this, because if that allows Jim Ratcliffe, if that stops Jim Ratcliffe from stepping in the club and buying it, yeah, and then definitely it's a really good decision in our favor at least. Because the thing with debt money is that you can keep on piling debt on debt on debt. It's not real money, and you don't have real power with it. Your transfers are not gonna be looking healthy. You'll always look to save up even a single penny from your transfers. And your stadium, you will not have any money left to cover the stadium up. You'll have to pay dividends also. Then you'll take your profits also. Debt is a very bad game. I don't like debt, whether it's in business or it's anything else. I just don't understand debt. And yeah, so it is good news for us. I don't know about other Premier League clubs. Also, I'm not sure about the structure of ownership that we have currently. How many shares are owned by Glazers? How many shares are owned by the public? Because we are a public company, right? Our shares are listed on the stock market. So yeah, it's interesting to see how Sheikh Jassim buys out the entire club. If he wants 100% ownership, that is. And Jim Ratcliffe, I think if he's picked up a number that he wants, that 69%, that he's picked up for the reason that I think he's picked it up. He's a funny guy, nothing against him. But yeah, bro, you don't have money. You buy 69%, you buy anything percent. Yeah, it's just not going to get any better anytime soon. Get money first and buy my club. Sell your house, maybe, I don't know. Get money.
So you spoke about how the Glazer ownership is. So Glazers have divided the entire club stocks into. Yeah, Kshitij, you want to say something?
Should I go into little technicalities if you guys allow me?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, as Hadi said that it's a public company, so we don't know the share of what kind of share Glazers own or what kind of share we own. So, it is basically going by the legal terms. It is divided between Class A and Class B shares. Class A shares are called public shares, which we own, like not us, like the public owns. And Class B shares are the shares which hold the voting rights, and those are the shares which are going to be bought and sold. In second, those particular shares cannot be bought by hard cold cash. Even though I am in complete support of Qatari owners owning us, because obviously ching ching money baby. But the thing is, uh, to own those Class B shares, you cannot do it by just cash or by any credit. You have to go through the debit note, not the debt which Sir Jim is doing, but the debit notes. What every billionaire does, they buy a certain amount of debit notes in the market, and through those debit notes they invest in those shares, and hence they procure those shares, hence the majority in the club. Now, what Sheikh Jassim is going to do is that he is going to own those particular shares which are owned by the Glazers, that is 25% of shares, but holds all the power, all the voting rights, all the veto power, as well as all the power which is held by the board of directors. Because Sheikh Jassim is going to bring his own board of directors, because he is going to buy out all the shares of board of directors also. We are going to have our shares, but it doesn't matter. It is just for investment in the club, not the voting rights. But what I think Sheikh Jassim is doing very nicely, that he is going to kick Glazers out completely. Now, that was a technical part of all this. If you guys I tried to explain it as simple as possible.
Yeah, I mean it's totally understandable, and it will take a little bit of time for people to understand because it is a lot of technical stuff and some jargon which will not be. But long story short, Glazers do own a certain amount of shares, which have a lot more value and a lot more voting rights compared to the shares that are the majority, which is why they are the sole decision makers of the club as of now. So talking about this, Kshitij bhai, now that the new rule is going to come into effect in a matter of time, do you think that this more or less paves the way for Qatari ownership? Now, you spoke about you're not aware of the way that Qatar, the Sheikh Jassim, for example, will approach the entire situation on how is he going to take 100% of the club or whatever that is. But with this new the rule that is coming to effect, and irony dies a thousand years, the thousand deaths here. That Glazers are also one of them who have given their green light on this, which means it's a unanimous decision. So that also includes the Glazers. So, do you think that this is the end of the road for Sir Jim Ratcliffe as far as his bid is concerned?
Obviously, the rule is going to affect him in the major way because obviously, if the rules come into the effect, he will obviously be that it will be a big deterrent to him. He would have to take a very shady route, which I don't think he's that kind of businessman because throughout his life, throughout his whole career, he had an image of a very clean businessman. Even though he's a billionaire, which is a surprise when he's a clean businessman, he always had a very clean image. He always had the right. He always did things the right way. So I don't think he's going to surpass it through the back end. So obviously, uh, I heard Mark Goldbridge say this statement. I'll repeat it again. It's like the match is happening. Sheikh Jassim is 2-0 up at 85th minute, and you know they are going to win. But Sarjan is still in the match. Anything can happen, but we clearly know that Sheikh Jassim is leading as of now.
Fair enough, fair enough. So now that we have the ownership situation more or less spoken about, let's talk about the important matters, that is the transfer window. And the most important piece of news that has been circulating around is that we have officially withdrawn our interest from Harry Kane. And the reason behind the decision is that for a player who's entering the last year of his contract and is a 30-year-old, gonna turn 31 next month, I guess, the money that Spurs are asking for is a little bit too much, and it is veering on the obscenities. So, Hadibai, I'll start with you. Do you believe that ending our interest in Kane is the right decision? I certainly believe it is because we've inquired about a target. We showed concrete interest, and the moment the opposite party has begun to dug its heels, we have walked away from it. So that shows signs of a club that wants to make sure that their business is trying to be concluded as quickly as possible. As you earlier mentioned, that we need to at least make one signing in the early stages of the transfer window. So where do you stand on this withdrawal of interest as far as the Kane situation is concerned?
That's for me.
Yeah, it's for you.
Yeah. So basically, I would like to say that our transfer scene has been very decent in the past couple of years. We have made some really good decisions and got some really good deals. And whatever we do, I think I'll be satisfied with it. I'm confident in my transfer scene as of now. But Harry Kane, I really wanted Harry Kane because he has been a very consistent, proven Premier League striker, and he has been in contention for the Golden Boot since I don't know since more than half a decade, for even a decade, I would say. So yeah, pulling out from Harry Kane is little absurd to me. But yeah, it's about getting the probable deals done. He's a good player, but he might not be the most probable player to get at that moment. They are better players. They are not better players actually in terms of skill wise and experience wise, but better deals to get in the market. And yeah, Osimhen looks a very great player, and same thing for Hoyland and Gonzalo. this Portuguese guy and other players they've also been. I think we'll find a striker. We'll do a good job. But yeah, pulling out from Harry Kane this early in the transfer market, I don't know if that's very true. But yeah, it's disappointing for me at least. I like us to fight for Harry Kane till the end, and yeah, if Harry Kane comes, then I think it's the best choice according to me. I prefer him over any other choice that we have, just because he's Premier League proven and just because he's being very very consistent with what he does.
We have Paritosh Bhai with us on the stream and he's joining us. Paritosh Bhai, first of all, warm welcome. So Paritosh Bhai, my question to you is the same. Now that United have officially withdrawn their interest from Harry Kane, and considering the fact that it is this early in the transfer window, do you believe that it is the right decision, since that gives us that little bit of more time to get a like for like replacement for as far as the striker targets are concerned? Because I think at this point we know that a number 9 is on the list of the on the highest list of priorities that we need, so that so that we perform better on the pitch. And withdrawing from the Harry Kane stakes this early, I think it gives us that breathing room to get a new target whatsoever. So what are your thoughts? Do you think it is the right call?
First of all, I do think it's the right call because I was never of the opinion that we should be gunning for a player like Kane. Although he's a great player, he's a proven player. But I have the problems with the kind of deal that we would have gotten if we would have gone for him. Because Daniel Levy is not an easy negotiator. He would have gone hard for him. He would have tried to get at least like what £100, £100 million, or at least £80 million for that player. And I don't think with 1 year left on his contract and him not likely to sign one again, we should be gunning for a player like that. If I'm not wrong, he only has 1 year in his contract, right?
Yes, he does.
And same goes for someone like Mbappe, but Mbappe is another situation that I really don't want to dwell into because it is trying to be too hopeful because his first destination would be RMA, although he has said that he doesn't want to continue with PSG for another additional year. So somebody is going to go for him in the market this summer. I don't think United will be going for him. If they go for him, then brilliant. But I don't think that's a possibility. Although there'll always be rumors regarding the players which are coming to the end of their contracts because we are Manchester United and because there's always some kind of situation regarding us. So yeah, I think it's good that we have gotten rid of the Harry Kane situation because we kept trying to pursue Jadon Sancho for too long transfer windows and we weren't able to get him. And when we got him, it never was able to come to fruition. And same has happened with other players. And I don't want that situation to carry on forward. If Harry Kane is to come, I'd rather have him after a year because I don't think his powers would be too much of difference with a 1 year gap, and the price would be a huge difference there. So I prefer that over a deal of 80 million pounds or 100 million pounds over for Harry Kane.
Fair enough. So Kshitij bhai, now that the Harry Kane deal is obviously, I don't think we'll be pursuing it anytime soon. So that comes out to our options. Now there are quite a few options that are making the rounds. One of them obviously is Rasmus Højlund. Then the other one making the rounds is Marcus Thuram, who's a free agent. Then there's the likes of Kolo Muani and Gonzalo Ramos, like Hadi said, all these guys. So out of these players that have been making the rounds as far as the striker situation is concerned, Paritosh Bhai also spoke about a wildcard Mbappe move that could potentially happen. We will speak about that a little bit later on. But so, who, according to you, would be that perfect fit as far as the striker situation is concerned? Do you have a certain preference in mind, or are you still stuck about a particular transfer target?
I mean, honestly, I would have gone for the combination of Kane and Holland because the combination of experience and young player was there. But now that we have entered our interest in, uh, I would prefer if we get Hoyland and Marcus Thuram because Marcus Thuram is that physical presence in the box. Plus, it's not like he's just physical; he is pacey also. He has a decent finishing on him. Hoyland is a rough shape, like really roughly shaped diamond in the head. I, yeah, I get glimpse of you know rude when I see him because he is constantly in the box. He is constantly making those runs. But one additional attribute Hoyland has is that he is very good at creating plays also through his runs, which is why Kane is so effective. In my opinion, Kane is top five striker in the world, and probably before Haaland came, he was the best striker in the league. So it's kind of sad that we are not signing Kane. He's prem proven, he's experienced, he would give a solid 3 4 years. If we would have signed another young striker alongside him, like Gonzalo Ramos or Hoyland, बट अभी ऐसा प्लेयर को साइन करके क्या ही करना जिसको जो इंग्लैंड का हो कि इंग्लिश भी नहीं बोल पाता है ठीक है चलता है
So, Hadi bhai, speaking about the striker targets, do you also have someone who would fit the mold of a United striker, or are you also in two minds about any particular preference that you have, or are you pretty set in your mind that this is the striker that I need? I think Lakaka is definitely out of the question
Bring
because
Lakaka back.
yeah, I don't think we'll be taking Lakaka anytime soon. But apart from him, do you believe that you have a particular striker that you would feel is the tailor-made fit for United, apart from Harry Kane? Since
I
you
was
spoke
about to say
earlier,
Lagaga. I was about to say Lagaga, but you stopped that. You stole it. But yeah, no, I do have a particular striker. It's not for. It's for one particular reason. It's not anything technical. It's not anything. Any other target that we are looking at, and it's Haaland's cousin. I don't know what the guy's name is. He's Haaland's cousin.
I
And
think
he was
plays
in the
for-
news.
He's in AC Milan, I guess. He was. Is he the same guy?
I don't know. कुछ तो लीग में है, कुछ तो दूसरी लीग में है, कुछ छोटा लीग में है, पता नहीं कौन सा लीग.
as far as I remember his name was Twalan something like that TJAAAND Twalan something like that
Okay.
So whatever. So I prefer that guy just for the fun of it, and just because he has the Viking genes in him, like Haaland, and it will be funny
Plus-
to set him up against his cousin.
प्लस प्रीमियर लीग में महाभारत करा देंगे भाई भाई में लड़ाई एकदम मस्त
घर का बेदी लंका है.
Yeah. So
Gaurav bhai
brother,
has a
or
very-
if not that
yeah.
guy, then Hoyland.
Gaurav has a very interesting question. So while he says that Hoyland should be one of the transfer targets which we should be looking at and grooming him in the future, he's talking about someone like an Eno Valencia or a Ben Yedder or Jonathan David. Now, Gaurav bhai, as far as these three names that you've given, Eno Valencia and Ben Yedder are already players who are at the twilight of their careers. Eno Valencia plays for Fenerbahce, and Ben Yedder, I don't know where he plays currently. I'm pretty clueless about where he is now. The only reason why I know him is that he's been the scourge of United for years and years with Sevilla, with Monaco, you name it, and he always has a happy knack of scoring against us. So I don't think Jonathan David is a pretty good option, but I think we need someone who's experienced and who will be able to take that shoulder that goal scoring burden as quickly as possible. So yeah, Kushagra has put in a very interesting point. So Hariva, as you know, we've been involved with the Kim Min-jae deal for ever since the season has been over. Whereas a lot of Italian newspapers have already reported as far as the fact that Kim Min-jae is already done, that he's already said his goodbyes, he's given his notice period, resignation paper sab dal diya hai, and all that is needed is for him to just take that flight and come to Manchester. That is how far gone the reports in Italy are. But now recent reports have emerged that Bayern Munich are interested, and it has swayed Kim Min-jae's attention. So what are your thoughts on that? And it has been like Kim Min-jae has been one of our primary defensive targets also, and add to the fact that Maguire has seemingly decided to stay at United and fight for his place. That makes it a little more tricky, a little more difficult. So do you believe that we should be scared with regards to Bayern Munich entering the race for Kim Min-jae?
I believe we should shit our pants. And not because Bayern Munich has entered the race for Kim Min-jae, but Maguire has decided to stay. That's a bigger worry for me. And I am shitting my pants already, thinking of Maguire for another season. But yeah, whatever. Bayern Munich is a very ruthless club in the way of how they play football and how they take on their deals. Once they enter for somebody, they just go and they buy it. I think, and that's going to rise the price. If we have Qatari money backing us, I wouldn't be scared because what the hell they can do? तेल का पैसा है, कोई भी Bayern Munich, कोई भी कौन सा भी Munich आ जाए, तेल का पैसा is going to prevail. But until then, if not, then yeah, it is definitely worrisome.
But
And if
the
Maguire
oil
is
money,
not, yeah,
but the oil money shouldn't be a cause of concern because this particular transfer will rely more on the player's situation, where the player wants to play. Because both the teams would try to trigger the release clause, and the owner club is not much in control of the player because how much money you can throw after the transfer clause is not a worry. The main worry is whether
okay.
the
So then
player
it
is convinced
depends.
about the
Then it
project
depends
as
on
well.
how much money you offer the player.
The reports are that we have offered a salary close to 9 million a year as far as Kim Min Jae's deal is concerned. So Ojis Bhai also says that the reason why Bayern are entering into Kim Min Jae sweepstake is that Paris have been talking with Luka Hernandez for a 30 million bid. And Bayern do not want him to go on a free transfer next summer since he's also one of those players who's entering in the final year of his contract. So that is the reason why Bayern Munich have entered the Kim Min Jae sweepstakes. So yeah, I think the reason why Napoli are waiting and playing this hardball is that they want to entice a bidding war. So if more than one club pays the release clause, then I think it comes down upon the salary or the other variables that come into question. So that becomes a very interesting prospect to look at. And that is another target where we are looking to make sure that that deal is also done as quickly as possible, because I think there is very less time with regards to the preseason fixtures that we will be undergoing, and we do need that time so that the player is acclimatized to the way that Ten Hag wants to play ball and so on and so forth. Another important news on the midfielder front is that United have officially sent in an opening bid of 40 million for Mason Mount, and that bid has been rejected. Chelsea want somewhere close to 18 million, but I genuinely feel that with the financial situation that Chelsea are in, I think anywhere close to 55, and I think we are going to हमें भाई रिलीज क्लॉज तो बिडिंग वॉर होगा, बिकॉज अगर एक क्लब से ज्यादा ने अगर उसका रिलीज क्लॉज ट्रिगर किया है, देन इट कम्स डाउन टू द अदर वेरिएबल्स. इट कम्स डाउन टू द सैलरी दैट इज ऑफर्ड. इट कुड बी दैट द रिलीज क्लॉज the bids could be increased also, because they would want to make sure that a player of Kim Min Jae's quality, who's been one of the best defenders in Europe in the past season, is a part of their side. So I think there could be a bidding war, and that is exactly what Napoli are playing towards. And for them, it would be as much is a case of how much money comes in from a prospective sale, so be it. So that is the reason why I believe there could be a bidding war for the services of Kim Min Jae, and I don't think as United we would want to enter into one, because we have a pretty set budget as far as spending on players is concerned, with limited flexibility if we do not make the amount of sales that we are thinking or we are imagining about. So Kshitij bhai, coming back to the Mason Mount deal, what are your thoughts on the Mason Mount scenario? Do you believe that 40 million was a good enough bid? Or do you believe that we should go to 45 plus 10, which could be the preferred, which could be the most commonly accepted bid as far as the United fan base is concerned? Or do you believe that this is a time that we should walk away from the deal? What are your thoughts on the Mount situation?
See, matlab, I'm one of those rare people who has been a Mount fan since he started playing football, because he has that dynamic potential to him. He can create plays, he can score goals, he can score free kicks, and he has that genuine hunger and eagerness to be on the pitch, is what I think. Mason Mount के लिए 50 million plus 10 million in variable is very good. Maximum we should go is 55. After 55, we are just getting looted. I am not one of those who will say कि अरे मेसन माउंट है 30 है, ये वो गोरेट्स्का को लाओ, ये करो वो करो. मेसन माउंट 24 का है. चेल्सी प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन 2 बार रह चुका है वो पिछले 3 साल में. लैम्पार्ड का वो लेजिट बेटा है, ठीक है. तो लैम्पार्ड ने उसको कुछ तो सिखाया होगा ना भाई. We have to consider that Mason Mount is one of those players who are not staying at Chelsea because of the instability of the club, because the role offered to him was not good enough. Because if you see the Chelsea fan base also, half of them are like all of them are divided only. Half of them are saying कि Mason Mount को बेचना is a huge mistake because he represents the future of the club, Chelsea. And he, half of the fan base are saying, "Oh my God, he played one season bad. Okay, sell him, horrible ये वो." ऐसे चूते हो तुम्हारा पूरा क्लब बिक जाएगा जो पिछले सीजन के हिसाब से अगर तुम प्लेयर बेचने जाओगे तो ठीक है तुम you have to consider that Mason Mount is to be sold because they spent money in such an horrible way. They have to sell Mason Mount and other players, probably Sterling. I don't know. Some other players might also leave. Some important players. Aspilicueta is obviously leaving, I think, because of the wage. Uh, so they have to clear out players, and Mason Mount is one of those assets which can be sold and get good money in not 80 million, but at least 50-55 million.
Yeah, fair enough. Partosh bhai, there has been a very interesting development that has been coming around. I spoke about this in yesterday's stream also with Wali bhai and with Anshuman bhai also in detail about it. And this concerns a certain Frenchman who looks like a teenage mutant ninja turtle, but doesn't play like that. He plays like he owns the turf and he is one of the best players in world football at the moment. I'm talking about Kylian Mbappe. While up until yesterday, it felt like the Mbappe news to United being the Qataris statement signing was just white smoke or something to create a smokescreen as to that to offset one rumor with another per se. But as the day has gone by today, it has been gathering a lot more steam from some source or the other, and it just feels like there is more than what meets the eye as far as the Mbappe deal is concerned. While yesterday I was pretty circumspect about this happening, reading today's news, I think there could be a pretty fair chance that this happens. And where do you stand on this current Mbappe situation? I think he's made it pretty clear that there are a lot of tensions between him and the club. Uh, Paris definitely does not want to let him go on a free. Then there is the small matter of Real Madrid suddenly getting interested because of the fact that Benzema has walked off, and they've already started their next rebuild by announcing the signing of Bellingham. So obviously they would want that also to happen. But in all this, do you believe that there is somewhere a genuine possibility that you see Kylian Mbappe in the red of Manchester?
Mm, Honestly, for me, I don't really believe that Mbappe is going to play for United. Although it's a great thought to have, it's a great possibility for every United fan. But I don't believe that Manchester United have the pull that Real Madrid have at the moment. At the moment, especially for a player like Kylian Mbappe, who has idolized playing for Real Madrid in his childhood, who has idolized Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime when he played for Real Madrid. So, with a better team as of now, if you consider on paper, Real Madrid are better. You can't deny that. Their midfield is better, their defense is better, their goalkeeping situation is sorted. Their striking is one aspect that they can do good about, and Mbappe fits right into their plans. Also, it's a statement signing that we defeated PSG in the ego war that they are having. It's all for cloud, says Kushagar Verma. Yes, it is all for cloud, and that is for most things. Most things are about status, and the games everybody plays for a better status. And who better than Florentino Perez to know about them, because he has used this game time and time again to have a better position, and now he's one of the top uh, people responsible for footballing. Uh, footballing.
Top presidents running the club basically.
Not even presidents, entities. As an entity, he's so massive right now, not only
Yep.
in Spain but in Europe and football in general. So he knows better than most. He knows how to deal with egos. He knows how to defeat egos, and that will be one statement that everybody would again feel that he is the right man for the top job at Real Madrid, and he'll stay there for longer if this falls through, because uh, he will have successfully built another successful team for the foreseeable future. Nilesh says let's not go for Mbappe at all. It will be another that situation. Yeah, it will be because
My biggest question is, by snake does he mean Di Maria or does he mean Ronaldo? That is the biggest question.
no man, not Ronaldo. Ronaldo is not a snake. Ronaldo is not a snake because he still respects the club. He still has uh, respect for the fans, and he never disrespects the fans. It's just that his ego as a player is what drove him for the majority of his career, and his ego is what restricted him playing second fiddle to a team which he believed he would have been a starter in for Erik Ten Hag. So I don't really believe he was a snake. I do believe there were problems, but yes, regarding that, I think Kylian Mbappe, a snake situation, I don't know, but I think for Kylian Mbappe, the right team is Real Madrid. They are willing to go for a $200 million dollar transfer and go down then. But I don't think we should be going for a 200+ million player. Although with Qatari money, you never really know. But first, we need to take care of the takeover. Although it is
Correct.
imminent, but as most things stand with United, you never really know until you know.
It's such a sad thing, but so true to be associated with sheer unpredictability and chaos as far as United is concerned in any state or situation. Hadiba, what are your thoughts on the Mbappe situation? Do you personally would uh, like Paritosh by himself spoke that we could potentially have a lot of Qatari money. You yourself iterated earlier on that when we have Qatari money, which we could have very soon, we would not care who is the opposition party that we are negotiating with. Another way to look at this is that PSG's owners are one of the proudest people, and like Paritosh Bhai said, that Fiorentino Perez is one of those eminent entities who run football circles currently. Nasser Al Khalifi is an equal, if not better exponent of the same. Al Khalifi is a pretty proud man himself, has a lot of power in the European football circle, being the president of the ECA, and with the tensions that both these clubs have had with the Mbappe dealing before, do you think that this could play a part in United being a very active player in the Mbappe sweepstakes? And do you believe that there's still a real, like Paritosh Bhai has made it very clear with about the fact that he does not see Mbappe playing for United. But do you believe that there is or there could be a chance with the dynamic that is going around between PSG and Real Madrid that Mbappe could very well find himself at Old Trafford? Maybe this season, maybe next season, who knows?
I certainly do believe there's a chance, and why do I believe that? I will explain it at the end of it. But I will tell you an interesting story. So when we had this Liverpool screening, I was in the metro and I met two United fans. So they saw me in the jersey. We were talking about this scene, and this guy said that when Sheikh Jassim comes, Mbappe to United, he was done deal. And I was like, what? What do you mean? How? एंड डू यू रियली वांट एम्बापे? उस टाइम मेरा ओपिनियन था भाई कि एम्बापे मेरे को नहीं चाहिए, अपने पास रैशफोर्ड है, व्हिच इज अ सिमिलर एस्क प्लेयर, व्हिच वी लुक एट हिज स्पीड एंड इफ यू लुक एट व्हाटएवर. So we don't need really an Mbappe. वो आगे जाके बहुत ही फफड़ मचा देगा. He will create a huge mess out of the entire scene, and I don't see him fit in the dressing room and whatever. But the transfer scene in past few years has become like ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. पहले हम बोलते थे कि कोई ऐसा ही insanity का वाला कोई ऐसा ट्रांसफर होता था, तो we were like, bro, this is not FIFA. ये FIFA नहीं है. You will not get these transfers. It's not realistic. But I think all the realism, everything has gone down the drain, like Martial, and oil money has just completely changed the dynamics of it. We are seeing so many shuffling. As what Saudi is doing, they're literally buying everything, and I think in a few years they might actually be a competitive league. It's not even a joke. It's just ridiculous what money that they are offering. It's completely ridiculous, and I think this is what the dynamics has become. And if we were to get acquired by Sheikh Jassim, I definitely think there's a possibility that Mbappe comes to United. I definitely think, why not? He has the money, and they are Qatari. They are friends. They might sit on some tea and discuss. Yeah, I think I can definitely see Mbappe coming. Do I want him personally or not? It's interesting. I didn't want him a few months ago, but now I think I'll take him. One of the best players in the world. He's been condensed with the Ballon d'Or. He's a World Cup winner. He carried the France team to the final, and even in the final, he scored a hat trick. Come on, it was all Mbappe carrying France France was literally nowhere in the scene in the final against Argentina. It was all Mbappe doing his stuff. Great guy. I would be excited if he comes. We have a number 7 vacant in our club, and his idol has played for us twice. Yeah, Ninja Turtle for life, Mbappe.
Uh, so Kshitij bhai, Anukul bhai says, why would Mbappe come to United, especially when the Qataris will take over? He would not switch allegiances from one Qatari-run organization to prospectively another Qatari-owned organization. Where do you stand on this? Do you believe this could come into consideration when Mbappe decides to make a choice? Because as far as I believe, Real Madrid are wide favorites to land him, and it all intents and all signs do end up at Kylian Mbappe potentially ending up at Real Madrid, because we've all seen in the past years that whenever it comes to ego, Fiorentino Perez is not someone that you want to mess with, and that could very well come into play this year or probably next. So where do you stand on Anukul Bhai's question?
ओके सो कतर का क्या कॉन्सेप्ट है द कतर में देयर इज नॉट जस्ट वन किंग देयर आर emirs there are different emirs for every region of Qatar. So Sheikh Jassim is one of the cousins like cousins and comes under a different emir. He is different emir. कतर का क्या है कतर में लड़ाई है fine. Mbappe has disputes with one of the Qatari family. But what about the other? It's about what you going to offer Mbappe. What are you going to show Mbappe कि भाई इधर क्यों आने का? We are buying Kim, we are buying Mount, we are buying this, we are buying that. And as far as you remember, last season when everyone was saying sell Rashford, uh, Mbappe was the one who said he should come to PSG. I would like to play with the Rashford. So it's fine. He can come and play for us. Again, it's in favor of Real Madrid. I would say it's 80-20 that he would go to Madrid and then to come to United. But it's it's pretty evident that if Qataris buy our club, they would like to make a big statement by signing a very big player, probably one of the top 5 players in the world to come to United and just show कि like, look, we are serious. Look, we are buying big players. We are going to invest in stadium and we are going to invest in academy. But most probably the point I want to put forward. Everyone is talking about Mbappe. Everyone is talking about everyone sign that. Give Ten Hag what Ten Hag wants. Whether it's Mbappe or I don't care whether it's I don't care if it is Dominic Solanke. If Ten Hag wants him, give him. Ten Hag sees potential in players since he started managing teams. Bayern B, Ajax, now us. He has honed Garnacho to a very good level. Pelistri is not getting those game times, but I am sure he is getting trained behind the scenes. He has improved several players who are you can't say that they are young, but kind of young, like 24, 25 at that stage. Ten Hag has the eye, have the faith on the manager, have the faith on the scouting which is done by the director of football throughout the season. Let them discuss. It doesn't matter if Mbappe is the signing or any big guy who is going to come to us, whether it's Neymar, Mbappe, or who else? Some big player. I don't know. Some random newspaper in Spain published that if Qatar comes, we will put 150 million bid for Kamavinga. Doesn't make sense. Let's see how it folds out, how it irons out. We get Qatar. They'll get their own everything. Right now, the list is ready. Guys, it doesn't matter. The list is ready. Every position has at least 3 players on it. We will get either the first choice, second choice, third choice. If Sheikh comes and wants to make a big statement, he'll talk to Tenag, and if Tenag wants Mbappe, we'll get Mbappe. If it doesn't happen, Papa Perez will come and just simply say to Mbappe, "Welcome home, sir." That's it.
Yeah, Mojo sir has put it very well. He says the only way that we are giving Ten Hag his first choice targets is that things are moving behind the scenes and in accordance with new owners while the final details or the last few finishing touches of the sale get ironed out. So, Hadi bhai, what are your thoughts on what Mojo sir has said? Do you actually believe that there is dialogue going on behind the scenes that we already have the funds that are required to have a successful transfer window, courtesy of the new owners that are there, and that whatever we do from here on is in accordance or is in done with the green light of new owners? Because I think with the amount of news that is circulating from people talking about certain targets, I think there is not one only player that is being we are talking with. We're talking with multiple players on multiple fronts. I think in this only stream we covered, I think 4 or 5 players that we are having discussions with. So the only way that we are having multiple discussions with multiple players is that we have the funds that are required. So do you believe that somewhere down the line we already have the prerequisite funds required courtesy of the new owners?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, I think we should get at least one deal done before the ownership is revealed and the new owners come into place, because I think the prices are going to rise. As we get new ownership and we get the oil money, prices are going to rise and players are going to be expensive for us. Even the salaries are going to be expensive for us. So I think Mason Mount says something. Chelsea has become a wholesale club actually. There are so many clubs, so many players that they're going to sell them at wholesale rates. So I think getting Mason Mount would be not a problem. But I would say apart from that, I would say just wait and see. New owners, new structure, new intent, new strategies, new money, and it might change. I mean, if you one target that you are achieving, that you are pursuing right now, the new ownership structure might completely flip it on top of its head, and you're gonna be like, okay, now we're not looking for this guy, but we want 5 other guys, we want 6 guys, we want a whole new team. So I would say just get one thing done that's important, that's Mason Mount. I'm of the opinion that we don't need a lot of players. We just need whatever ETH wants, exactly like everybody says, what ETH wants, and there's 1 or 2 injections would be fine, and 1 or 2 injections for the reserve for squad players, basically not first team players, but youngsters and who can fill in the gaps, who can come as subs, who can play in the cup games, and who can be as rotational players. But most importantly, the one thing that we should do absolutely is sell players, sell the whole lot, sell a lot of them, and don't just stop. Sell for free. I don't care. Just get them out. It's been a long time that Martial has survived so many managers and been constantly inconsistent. This funny thing to say. He's been consistently inconsistent. And I want him gone. There's one particular guy goes by the name of Naman Anand. He won't be too happy, but I don't care. Martial has to go. Sorry, Naman. Martial has to go.
We had shots fired.
Yes. Definitely shots fired. I don't hold back, dude. I don't. No holding back.
So it's a very interesting point you said about having sales. I totally agree that we need to have sales. But let's just take it from the financial perspective. I think you are pretty aware that we are under FFP watch right now. So whatever things we do from a buying or a selling perspective will be in the scrutiny. Do you believe that it is actually a right idea to let certain players go free? Because I think this transfer window that we will be having is arguably one of those rare transfer windows where we have a lot of sellable options, where we can sell players for substantial amounts of money. We have Dean Henderson who can fetch us a decent price, and there are teams who are interested in acquiring Dean Henderson. Then there is Anthony Elanga, who's an academy player, and whatever money he fetches us is a profit in itself. We have McTominay, who falls in the same mold, an academy player, so whatever amount he gets us is a prospective profit. Then you have the likes of Maguire, who can give us money. There is a substantial market value also. A lot of financial sources, a lot of financial experts determine that Maguire's value is close to 30 to 35 million in the transfer market. The sticking block is his wages, but then I think there are quite a few teams who would like someone like a Maguire to bolster their defenses. So we do have, then you spoke about Martial. We have Martial who's sellable, but I think right now he's having an injury. So I don't know how much of value he'll hold. So we do have assets that can be sold at substantial prices. Do you really believe that, despite of the fact that we do want players to be sold, do you think selling them on a free is actually a right idea? Considering the fact that we do need to raise money for sales, because I think the Athletic has reported that we have a budget of 100 million, which can increase to 120 million as far as buying players are concerned. So raising money from sales becomes very paramount at this point in time. What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
it?
so when I say sell for free or sell for like 5 rupees, I'm obviously exaggerating and I'm obviously joking. It's not literally sell for free, but yes, we have some exciting prospects to sell, and I would love for us to sell because we never sell, we never do. We buy players for triple the price and then we keep them, and then that's it, right? We failed to sell Pogba twice, right? So we never sell players. I think it's high time that we sell. I think we might as well sell. Yeah, I don't know. We might as well some really important players that might upset some people. Like we might as well sell Sancho, right? And not just these squad players, these first team regular starters. And we might sell either one of Pelletri or Ahmad.
I don't think
We
we're
might just
selling
sell either
Ahmad.
one of them.
I don't think we're selling Ahmad. No. I don't
Well, he
think so.
has been good. Yeah, definitely. I think not Ahmad then. But yeah, we have a lot of to sell. There's McTominay, there's Martial, there's Maguire. He might give 20 million, 25 million, yeah, at most, which is a loss, but it's good then. Nothing. What else we have? We can
Fred,
sell Fred,
yes.
definitely Sancho. Van de Beek
Do you
might go
really
for free. I don't
do
know.
you really believe we should sell Sancho? Let me just put my opinion as far as the Sancho situation is concerned now. Now, we are right to criticize his performances. There is no doubt about Sancho having an under par first 2 seasons with the club. But I think a lot of people are missing the fact about it is that Sanchez played under 3 different managers in 2 years. A. B. Are we going to really ignore the fact that he had mental health problems for the better part of half a season? So that basically means that he's played 1.5 season under 3 different managers with 3 differently varying principles of play. Do you really believe that selling Sancho would be the right call? I certainly believe that there is a heck of a player there. He has shown glimpses. While it's not been consistent enough, I certainly feel we are jumping the gun by selling him too early. He's only 23. Let's just get that in our heads as well. He's still a young guy with oodles of potential there, and I genuinely would love if we give him another season. Like I genuinely feel that keeping Sancho would be worth it with another proper preseason, with his mind fresh, and so on and so forth. For me, but do you actually believe Sanchez should be sold?
Yeah, okay. Before that, I would like to address that Naman Anand is here. Naman Anand says Mount, Holland, Kim, and possibly a great GK. These four are must-haves. Naman Anand, there's one player that is absolutely not a must-have, and this is Martial. And I've been bashing him for the past 5 minutes, and you should go back and you should see what I've said.
But
It was for you.
what are the opinions on the players that you've spoken? Do you believe that these four are the players that we should have, or do you still stand by your claim of having just 2 proper first team players and 2 squad players?
I'll come to the Sancho question first.
Yeah,
So
sure.
personally, I'll be disappointed if Sancho leaves because I was very excited when he came, and I waited for him for more than a year. The whole Sancho saga was one of the most tiring sagas of our transfer scene. I think one of the most in my time following United. I think it was the most. Yeah, for 1.5 years he followed him. Anyways, so Sancho leaving would be disappointing. I think he should stay. I believe in his potential, and I do believe that there were mental health problems, and basically there was a dip in form because after that penalty miss in Euro final, he's not been the same guy he was, and he doesn't get the same partnership that he gets in Dortmund, that he got in Dortmund with us. We don't have a Hakimi-esque fullback to support him, and we don't have a Haaland to support him up front. I think Sancho should stay, but again, we have so many players contesting for similar positions, and our priorities lie elsewhere. As we have to free up funds. I think this might be the right moment to sell him because he might dip in value if he doesn't perform this season as well. I don't want him to go, but yeah, if that's for the best, then yeah, it is what it is. I'll not sell him personally. Coming to Naman Anand, he says 4 other players, and I'd agree. He's not incorrect. I'd agree. I would, yeah, 4 players. I won't sell De Gea too early. Striker definitely. Midfielder, yes. And I don't see any other space where we lack, because see, the transfers, they're 50-50. And what people miss every time we talk about transfers, it's a hit or a miss, right? Doesn't matter what player you're getting, or what it might be the best player in the world at the moment. It is 50-50. So it is risky. So just if you don't desperately need a new guy, don't get a new guy.
Yeah. So Harjas agrees with me that we should give Sancho another year. Now there are two important and two interesting one question and one interesting opinion that is there. So we'll go with the question first. Harjas asked that should we sell Fred and McTom for maybe 50-55 million. Now, if we cast our minds back at the end of the season, the last game against Fulham, there was a video that made the rounds where Fulham's manager personally went off and spoke to Fred personally. I think they spoke for quite a while, and they were captured on video as well, which could give a pretty good impression of the fact that Fulham are indeed interested in someone like a Fred. And I genuinely do believe that Fred is the type of player who can elevate that Fulham midfield. Also, Fred has made open implications about the fact that he will have a word with the manager regarding his immediate future with the club as well. So, do you believe Fred and McTominay could give us that much amount of money, 55 million by 2 players? So we are expecting one offer to come around 30 million and one offer to come around 25 million.
I would say that would be the best deal possible if we can get 50-55 million. That would be the best case scenario. The best case scenario.
Do you see that happening? Is there a chance?
Certainly, I do see that happening. I do see that happening, but realistically, no, not 55 million, 50 million. That's the best case scenario. That's the best deal with the best negotiators, with the best team, and the best words. I mean, the best buyers is the best case scenario. Realistically, I would say 40 million, 40.
It's still not a bad amount. Still not a bad amount by any stretch. Not a bad amount.
Yeah,
not a bad amount to raise, absolutely. Now we come to the opinion. Mojoso believes that we are signing 2 midfielders for sure. I think Mount will be one of them, and we need to see who the other is. A striker for sure, a centre back. So that's 4 players there. He believes he's pretty on the fence as far as the DDG situation is concerned. I think we're just 2 weeks away from 30th June. And if there is no contract extension signed by then, De Gea automatically becomes a free agent. So, and there is a lot of delays that are going on as far as the De Gea contract situation is concerned. So, which means we could potentially be looking at a goalkeeper as well. And I certainly believe that we are getting 4 players for sure this window. Now, whether there are 2 midfielders in that 4 players, I'm not exactly certain. 1 midfielder for sure, 1 centre back for sure, 1 striker for sure. Maybe another one would be a potential winger or a goalkeeper or something like that. Also, Mojoso believes that 3 players could get us close to 70 million. That's Henderson, McTominay, and Fred. And I definitely believe the same. I think that could be the case too. 70 million will be not a bad amount to raise from. Paritosh Bhai is back. Paritosh Bhai, I was just speaking to Hadi Bhai about what Mojoso believes is going to happen. Mojoso believes that we are getting potentially 4 players. And I think one of them is going to be, so he believes Rabiot is the second midfielder. So that's Mount, Rabiot, a striker, possibly Højlund, and a goalkeeper. Because of the De Gea situation that is going on. I think there are just 2 weeks left. And if De Gea's contract situation is up, then I think he ends leaving as a free agent. So, do you believe he's going to sign 4 players in this transfer window, Paritosh Bhai? Or do you think it's going to be more?
I think a defender is also on the cards.
Yeah, a defender. Yeah, centre back.
So yeah, that is my concern. One thing again, I believe is going to be of concern is what to do with Anthony Martial and Jadon Sancho. Even he is a question.
Martial sell straight. Martial's, I'd happily take him to whichever club that the club.
Exactly my point. Because when you take another player off your books, you need another player in to fill in for the games that he has had. Although he has been injured for most of this season, but he's a player who gets you goals whenever he is playing. So we need a player like that. So striker Hoyland, everybody is saying Hoyland, but I'm not really sure how that becomes a possibility for United because I'm too confused about the takeover right now. With the play situation, I think the Kim Mount, Rabiot, I do believe Rabiot is on the cards as well because he's a free agent, another player who can coming in, who will be coming in for PES. He will be the second midfielder, says Morrison. And I do believe that is going to be the case. Although he's another Pogba, but without the huge transfer value attached to him, I will happily take him. I'll happily take him over any other player who costs such another 100 million because with United, if you want a top player, you need to give upwards of 70 to 80 million or 100 million. So yeah, that is that. Another few players who are doing the rounds uh, are some youngsters, I think, but I think we have youngsters of our own with Ahmad also coming back after his loan spell, and we have a few players who will be back. There's the Donny van de Beek situation as well, and I think Donny van de Beek needs to be sold because he also believes, according to the reports, that his time at United is done. It is not coming to fruition. He has tried his best. So injuries or something has happened for the whole of his time at United, and I believe he also generated some revenue. So if we are able to sell Henderson, Scott McTominay, Fred, and the Donny van de Beek will be able to generate some funds. I think 100 odd million from fourth place is not too bad a deal, and I think we'll be able to do that. 25 million odd for each player. At least we should be getting. At least that is what I'm saying. You're muted, Delvin, I think.
Yeah, then there is the question of the loan players coming in. So we have Europa winner Alex Telles who will come in. You remember him? Then there's Eric Bailly who will be coming back from his loan spell. So these are the other two players who could be potentially sold for a certain sum.
Sold,
or
yes.
maybe, yeah. So that is it. Mojo sir, as far as Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in, I think there is a new rule that has come out that you cannot get leveraged buyouts anymore as far as buying a club is concerned. So that automatically becomes a major sticking point as far as Sir Jim Ratcliffe's pitch for buying the club is, because there was talk about Ratcliffe taking money in from the open market and taking more debt to buy the club. So the new rule automatically bans a leveraged buyout, which automatically puts the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid in jeopardy, which more or less gives a very clear shot at us having Qatari owners. So that is what it is as far as the Sir Jim Ratcliffe front is concerned. But yeah, I think you're right in saying that it could be a very long haul if potentially Sir Jim Ratcliffe enters the sweepstakes, which I don't think he is. But then, yeah, it is what it is. So now that we've spoken about all the transfers, there is a very interesting thing that is going to happen tomorrow. That is that the Premier League is going to release the fixtures for the 23-24 season. Now, we all know how important the fixture list is because I think we need to start any season on a high. We need to start any season on a good run of form because I think over the past 2 or 3 seasons, we've gathered this notorious reputation of being slow starters. So, Paritosh bhai, when we speak about a prospective fixture list, what is your ideal first 10 fixtures? Do you want the fixture list to start on a very favorable note that 6 or 7 out of the 10 fixtures are complicated, easy ones? Or do you want a fixture list which is evenly balanced, that where we have 5 teams which are in and around us as far as players and quality is concerned, and then the other 5 are the favorable ones? So what is your outlook on a fixture list, or the first 10 fixtures at least?
I think a balanced one should be the right way to go because we have seen that if somebody gets an easy fixture list at the start of the season, they eventually their wheels just come off and they just go nowhere. And we've seen that with Arsenal with their fixture list, which was comparatively an easier one in the first few fixtures. They weren't able to have a proper go at the league for the last few games. They were at the top for majority of the season, 92% of the time, if I'm not wrong, they were on the top. And they just collapsed in the final few games. So they weren't able to uh, ha- have proper proper go at City. They weren't able to pressurize them. Although Manchester City was able to pressurize, and they did good. They secured the treble. Good on them. And yeah, I want a 50-50 position where we have some good teams, so we have some competition at the start of the season, and we're able to judge where our teams stand. And we have there should be a preparing of some fixtures where the players can get some easy results. Easy as in you are more or less able to secure 3 points. According to the leagues, we are to face Brighton in the first game. So
Yeah,
that is another concern that everybody should be having, because Brighton is not a team you want to play. They play one of the best football you can see in Premier League at the moment, and they are a club built on proper foundations. And this is one of the things that I had concerns for. Even if we get
conveniently
like
City face Burnley. Conveniently City face Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it, but what I want United to be set up, even if we get Qatari owners, I want investments in proper departments. I want investments in the scouting department. I want investments in the proper director of football. I want investments in a structure, a hierarchy which represents club of the stature of Manchester United, not someone who is not able to negotiate a deal for too long transfer windows. We should have clear goals, and that is the positions that I'm looking for investments in. I don't want investments on players that we spend 200 or million, 300 or million on players, and then we are made a joke about that. What have we achieved in the 5-6 years? We are able to spend 222 million on Neymar, 100 million there, 100 million there, and we are able to build the super team and not even qualify for the semi-finals of the Champions League. I don't want that to be this mm, the banner that puts across a club, which is being put on PSG at the moment. That what we were able to achieve after throwing all this money. I don't want that associated with the club. I want the tag that is associated with Manchester City. Although they have spent money, but people respect them. That they are able to build a team which can be successful for the foreseeable future, which have a proper structure to it. They have proper depth. They have a manager who is able to get the best out of the team season in, season out, time and time again. And that is the way I want our club to be in, even if we get the favorable owners that we want.
Respect for cheaters. What a strange world we live in. Anyways, Hadivai Mojo sir says that whatever the fixture list is, our away form has to improve, and I think it is no secret that last year our away form was one of the most woeful in the division, especially when it came to clubs in and around us. Do you agree with what Mojo sir says about improving our away form? Because I think we were almost impeccable at home, losing only the one game in the Premier League at home. That was against Brighton. But with the away form, it was more of a 50-50 scenario. Do you believe that we have to make sure that we win more games away compared to last season?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I couldn't care about what is a fixture list because I don't play FPL. I don't play FPL anymore. And as a former FPL player and a former FPL group topper, I would wish the guys all the best of luck. They are the ones who will be the most interested in
Please,
the fixture
please,
list.
please don't talk about FPL. I've had a nightmare from leading all my leagues to falling down in spectacular fashion. Please don't let me remember. Don't let me relive those moments.
So you should also quit. No, you should also feel like me. You should quit and you should escape the matrix.
SK. Yeah, so we're talking about away fixtures. Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't care about the fixture list. I mean, whatever it is, you have to go with every game with the intent of securing the 3 points. Whatever the fixture it is, whether it is Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, back to back, I don't care. As long as we are getting the points on the table. So away from yes, definitely it has been really bad, and I think I don't actually know the solution for it. How are you going to improve the away form? It is not something that you can specifically target. I mean, you have to be worrisome about it. But how are you going to improve the away form? I don't see any solution. They just play the best football, and maybe consult a guy named Ole, because under him we have had the best away form. Maybe we can hire him as a away coach. And ETH goes on his little holidays when we have away games, and Ole comes in and acts as a coach for the time being. But
So
yeah,
all due
Brisbane
respect,
has to be. Yeah.
Ole's away record came when there were no crowds, so there's a lot of contention about that as well. So we don't exactly know what to make of it. But yeah, I think Mojisa speaks for all of us when he says that away form improvement has to be there, because I think we've lost a lot of points away from home than we did at home, and that was a difference between potentially finishing second, because if we do look at the games, I think we finished 9 points behind Arsenal. That's 3 away wins basically. It could have been a very different story had we taken 3 wins from somewhere, and we've lost pretty winnable games also. So yeah, I think away form requires priority, and like you said, whoever comes in, we have to go in with the mindset of winning. So yeah, I agree with you on that as well. As far as the fixture list is concerned, whatever it is, it will be very interesting to see what our fixture list look like. And it will be very interesting to see whether we do play any big clubs in the first 5 or 10 games of the season. With that being said, I think we've covered pretty much there is to cover about our entry of topics for today's stream. Hadi bhai, thank you so much for joining in. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Also to Kshitij bhai, Paritosh bhai for joining in and letting us know about their 2 cents on the different matters as well. Thank you so much to all the people on the chat who were there for a long time, speaking about what they felt about the transfers, the new rules, the ownership, so on and so forth. Thank you so much for joining in. If you do like the video, please press the like button. Please press the bell icon so that you're notified for any video that comes out. Do subscribe to our channel. We want to reach 2,500 subscribers by the end of this month. So go ahead, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and do press the bell icon, because we'll be rolling out with content every single day or every alternate day to make sure that you are kept abreast with all the latest trends and all the latest happenings around Old Trafford. With that being said, do join us on our social media spaces on Instagram and Twitter. We are perpetually active there as well. Drop us a follow there. And like I say, we've had a WhatsApp rivalry come out here where Hadi bhai and Naman bhai more often than not take pot shots at each other, which goes on to say that there is an ever-growing WhatsApp family as well. So do join us on our WhatsApp community as well. You will be witnesses to that rivalry firsthand, and you'll have a ball watching with that. Hadi was already preparing for his next comeback in the WhatsApp group, so you do not want to miss that as well. With that being said, this is Delvin along with Hadi wishing each one of you a good night from MESC Red Devils NCR. Do take care of yourself, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the other side. Up until then, it's GGMU to all. Good night once again.
See you. Bye bye.